Well, today is August 30th, and a lot of changes have happened in the garden. Just so I can make a mental note of this and watch this during the winter when it's blowing and raining. It is absolutely stunning outside. It's probably 74 or so in the sun. The remnants of the sand, the big pile that was here, tell you what, it was a mountain of work to move that sand. Thank goodness for Jerry Walway. We went to Longview today because the soil that I've been buying by the bag is just in Longview. It's just, it was 2 hours there and 2 hours back and no big deal because we did a couple other things too. This is a yard, and I actually need 2 more yards after this. And those are 48-inch stakes, and those are 12-inch stakes. And the 12-inchers are going to be used, I have to squeeze by the tree, to put up the sides of my 12-inch tall 2x10s. And then I have I'm doing this when I'm tired again, and I shouldn't be doing it. On the ends are 4 foot, so it's a 4x10. And so I've got 1, 2, 3, and there's another one over there, 4 10-foot long. And then I pulled the tomatoes because they were just not successfully growing, a very big disappointment. But I have 2 by 4 by, I think those are 8s. I'm going to work with those. Maybe a 4x4 bed to go over here in this spot. I don't know. I got to wait until all this stuff that I dug out of the garden on this tarp here, I'm going to let it compost down. I'm going to cover it up and let it cook and bake in there, because what that does is it breaks down all of that soil, which I've discovered, and it really makes wonderful, fantastic soil in just a couple of months. So if I cover it over and let it rot, it doesn't icky, yucky stink rot. It just turns into dirt, and I love it. So as soon as it does that, I can put it back in the garden. But I wanted to show me what I did today, which was a lot. I got 127 pounds of tuna fish, and I canned 24 jars, and I just froze the rest for this winter. But I had also 6 fish heads, and on an outside burner on the picnic table over there, I boiled those things down for a couple of hours, and then I let it set overnight. And we went and got the soil this morning, and then I got back and started working in the garden because there was a great big zucchini plant there, and he only had a few on him, and he was kind of slow. So I pulled him out. It was time. And I took those fish heads, and I dug 6 holes right here where the lettuces are going to be planted. And I strained the fish heads off first into a 5-gallon bucket so that I could finish filling that 5-gallon bucket up with water to, kind of dilute it a little bit, so I could use that on all of the bok choy that's over here. Maybe just take a little walk. Bok choy are doing better. They were kind of puny, and I was getting attacked by slugs, but the munching on them has stopped, and they're actually doing pretty darn good. So I watered them really good first, and then I put that fish fertilizer, and now I have bees all over those plants because they love that fish stuff. And I also put the fish stuff on, these are spinaches. It's supposed to be great big leaf spinach. That one is a kohlrabi, and all of the lettuces for the restaurant. I don't know if you can see the bees. Oh yeah, you can see bees. Bees are everywhere in here, and it doesn't smell too bad. I was surprised it's not as bad as I thought. But and then I buried those 6 heads where, like I said, I'm going to be planting the lettuce. So you can't even tell it's here. I have a picture of before and after, and it's like, oh my goodness. But you really can't tell it's here. And then next year it's really going to be rich and luscious. And then, like I've said before, all of the seaweed that's going to go on here. And then tarping it to keep the weeds down. I'm really, really having high expectations for next year, provided we have a next year. If we don't, then I'm okay with that too. But I wanted to update everything to see it in, it's kind of like looking with a woman that has only her eyebrows painted on and nothing else. It just looks awful. But this is a construction in progress. And this is the way it looks today on August 30th. And as soon as we get the boards cut for me, I can put the frames together, the three sides, and then I'm laying cardboard down inside to keep my soil from disappearing into the sand. And that's important to do for the first couple of years. That cardboard will, it'll decay in there and it'll do okay, but it'll prevent my soil from disappearing. And like I said, I got to get a whole lot more soil to fill these up to 12 inches, which you need. So I'm totally stoked. And there's a pile of cardboard that I'll be using. That's still not enough. But anyway, that's the update on the garden and when I got pulled out. And I'm going to be pulling out more pretty soon because things are really slowing down. And I really want to get all the weeds out. I want to get it all cleaned up because this is now like, let's say September. So then we have seaweed coming in, what is it, October, November? I think that's when it is. And I want to be ready for it and for the next phase. And I want to be planting in the new beds. So, okay, I'm rambling now and I need to shut up. Okay.